Hey, folks. Dave back here on a Saturday night, just kind of hanging out. I got something new here tonight. I'm going to show off in 1 second. Just kind of a crude way of doing this, but I'm going to try to do this. Let me just make sure that everything looks okay and sounds okay. Okay. Yeah, I just got to make sure that I don't have robot voice, robot man. But anyway, I have right outside my window, I got the camera facing the woods. And I'm going to show you what we got going on here. So that's the live coyote cam. Don't ask me how I got it working, but that's right outside the window. So if I were to look to my right, the camera's a couple of feet outside the window, just kind of aiming into the woods. So we'll see if we get anything on tonight. I do notice that the blue light does come on. So a lot of times when I get my videos in the morning, you can see the coyote running away because the blue light will come on and scare it away. But I figured it'd be kind of fun to have that on to see if we capture any guests tonight in Studio B. Well, I don't know what that would be. I don't know what studio that would be. Studio W for the woods. I don't know. But that's right outside my window here. Actually, I had to go adjust the camera. I had it too close to one of the plants, and all I could see is the plant. So I had to go outside. It's raining out, and a little flashlight, and it's really dark over there. And the other night, when I went outside about 7:15, 7:30, we got done watching TV. So I said, I'm going to go set up the camera. And it was just getting dark, and I put the camera down, and 20 minutes later, it went off and got him. So he's running around. I just missed him. I was kind of bummed out about that. But anyway, so we'll let that run for a little bit. We'll just have some fun with here. That's what we're just going to do. Have some fun here tonight. Talk about some fun things, if you will. Let me get a little bit more light on the subject. There we go. One of the fun things I got here is this NFL rules thing here. I can show you right there. NFL rules, right? I think it was Bobby Farris put it in. I think he put it in D2D, and I think he put it in Season Ticket Football. And this is really great because it shows you some of the timing, things about the 2-minute warning, replays, penalties, kickoff spot. I never know where to kick off from. That's my thing. Kicking off out of bounds, kicking team penalties, overtime. This is all right here in one little nutshell. And I want to thank Bobby for creating this and putting this up on Facebook because I'm always confused. So it's always nice to have some kind of a reference to see what's going on. So Bobby, thank you so much. And I had to kind of write myself a note because I think I saw it on my phone while I was up in New Hampshire at the rink. And I said, I got to remember to come back here and check that out. So that is that. But anyway, so say hi to the chat here as Barbara comes by. Hi, Barbara. And Cleveland, Brian comes by. Hello, Cleveland. And I didn't get to check the Spinal Tap. I think it was on September 10th. And me and a buddy of mine were talking about going because they had the new Spinal Tap movie or whatever it was. We never went. So I'm kind of hoping that'll come out on DVD or something like that. And Jeff and Keith. Hi, Keith. Thanks for coming by. And Sabrina Larson, always looking forward to the Coyote Cam. This is the first time we've had a live Coyote Cam. I wouldn't be surprised to get a visitor tonight because he's out there. Usually it's just the one little pup running around. We had 4, but I think everyone's moved on but the one. But he's out every night. And we'll let this run for a little bit. Hopefully my battery won't wear out. I charged it. The one I bought here, it's kind of neat. It's connected with Wi-Fi, which is kind of neat. And you can see the grass moving because it's raining outside. And so it just connects with Wi-Fi, which is kind of fun. And that's how I download all the videos and the whole bit. But it had a solar. The first night I got it, I bought it because it had a solar power charger. So I figured I could just leave it out there because the last one I bought, the batteries died. And I was putting in the AA batteries, and they were just getting chomped up in a night. And I was like, oh, man, I ain't going to spend that kind of money. So I got the one with the solar on it. So I connected. It's a little wire. So I put it in the sun, and I come out in the morning, and something ate right through the wire to the solar panel. So I was like, now what do I do? But it turns out that the battery does last a pretty long time. And I bring it in every night. And every few days, I just charge it with a USB. And we're fun and we're happy. So that's the deal with the camera there. So, again, we'll just go by here. Jeff and Keith and Sabrina. And Mike comes by. Hope you're doing well, Mike. I heard there was a funnel cloud in the next city over from me tonight, and I was like, oh man, that's kind of messed up. We don't usually have tornadoes over here, but there was a funnel cloud over there. I actually closed the window just in case I was making noise because to the right of the camera, right about here, this is where the window is to my right. So I didn't want to make noise if I was talking. So I got that closed. So, but it might get a better signal if I opened it. But right now it's hanging in there. Fenner comes by. And this is like Wild Kingdom. Yeah, yeah. I thought it'd be fun to do that here tonight while we had a little chat. Just kind of distract from just looking at me face. Here's me face. Right, distract from that. Anyway, aside from this right here, which is the NFL rules, which will help me, when I play my games. Yeah, I've been on a wicked football kick. This is September, middle of September is always my favorite time of the year. I don't know if it is for you. But you got I'm not a big college football fan, as you know. But I mean, when college starts before the pro, it's fun just to have any kind of football on. And like a day like today, I just been sitting watching some college today. I don't even know who was playing. It's just fun to put on and watch the teams. And there's a lot of smoke shows out there, 53-3 and stuff like that. But it's still fun. And then you get the pros starting up, and it's the time of year where you wake up and it's cold out, and then by noontime you got a sweatshirt on, okay, and then you're putting on long pants, or you're taking your sweatshirt off and putting on long shorts by noon, and then at nighttime you're freezing again. That's where we are right now. It's cold here tonight. You can see 63 degrees. Well, it's not that cool, but it is 63 out compared to like 80 this afternoon. But this is the greatest weather. It really is when it's cold in the morning, warm in the afternoon, so you can go do things, and it's cold at night. Great sleeping weather. And then you know that hockey's right around the corner too. So that's what we do like. And let's see, what else is going on here as I kind of keep track of the camera myself. Ron comes by. Hello, Dave and the Coyotes. We'll see what we get. Who knows? We've been getting deer. We get a lot of rabbits and squirrels during the day, Fenna says, I didn't think coyotes were in the Northeast. I'm used to seeing them back in Texas. Well, yeah, they are. They are up here. We didn't see them till, I want to say, about 15 to 20 years ago. Okay, if I had to make a guess, that's when I first saw coyotes out here. Because when we first moved in here in the mid 90s, occasionally you might see a deer, but it was a lot of skunks and raccoons. And we saw a skunk the other night, and that's the first skunk I've seen in years. So there's not a lot of them anymore. We got a lot of rabbits now, but the coyotes started again maybe about 15 years ago. And I remember it was a big deal because it's like, what is that? What's that? Somebody lose their dog, and we'd see the coyote running around. And I had a big husky at the time. And the husky was like growling at it and the whole bit. And then we finally fenced in the yard, and that kept the coyote out of the yard. So that was good. But yeah, I know we have them up here all the time. You can see the lights in the background. What that is, that's the highway. We have a pretty major highway right through the woods. So it's the woods are not that deep. It's not like it's the Blair Witch Project or something like that. The highway is right there. And so it's pretty wild to see deer with, an 8-point buck and then a full-grown coyote running around, in the yard between, me and my neighbor's house because of the highway's right there. It's really kind of crazy there. And Ryan says 1 week till preseason hockey. Yep. Hockey time. Yep, I'm going to have some hockey time. And D13 says, I feel like I should be drinking cheap beer. If you want to, that's up to you. I had Barbara says she's got all the skunks for years now. Yeah, she's got, we saw one skunk the other night, and it's kind of weird. I haven't drank in years, just didn't feel like it. I lost some weight, felt a little bit better. I'm working on my numbers, you know what I mean? I'm working on numbers, and so it was highly recommended I stop drinking. I didn't drink a lot, but I like to social drink with friends a couple times a week. And so I really haven't, I don't think I've had anything in years. I just haven't wanted to. And last night I had a dream that I was somewhere and I had a beer, and I almost took a sip of the beer, and I was just like, yeah, it's only one beer. What's the big deal? And it's just like, well, it says, you haven't drank in years. Why break the streak? And so in my dream, I put the beer down. It was kind of weird. Um, but my beer of choice was the what was it? Coors Lights, Coors Light bottle. That was my beer of choice because it was so light. It really was. It was a light beer. It wasn't heavy. It was very watery, and I just did. I liked it because usually I'd have it after playing hockey or something. So it was nice to have something that just went down nice and smooth. It wasn't heavy like a Sam Adams or something like that. And I don't really like the IPA stuff at all, so I don't do that. Um, my favorite beer of all time. Not that I'm going to go off on a beer thing, but my favorite beer of all time was probably Labatt's Blue. That was my favorite. And you can get it here, but it's not as good. I had it in Montreal one time, and we were playing in a tournament up there probably about 30 years ago. And I remember we're sitting, after the game, we went upstairs and, to the restaurant, and they were coming out with pictures of it. It was on draft. It was Labatt's Blue. And I was like, oh, man. And we drank pitchers and pitchers and pitchers of that, and we never even got drunk. It was just so good. It was clean. It was just one of the best beers I ever had. And every now and then I buy it down here when I used to drink beer, and it wasn't the same, but that was the best beer I ever had was Labatt Blue up in Montreal. It truly was fantastic, at least according to me. And Fenner says he might pick up Hockey Blast for the preseason so we can get that cool play mat. Yeah, there's a couple of play mats you can get with from Play. They got the black one there, which is the XHL, which I broke out for a game of Hockey Blast one night. I might try to play some Apple on or Hockey Bones. I know it'd be kind of little sacrilege playing a different hockey game on a play mat, but if the mat's good, the mat's good. Otherwise, I have my other hockey mat. And Sean says he's feeding the squirrels tonight. He watches his friend hand feed one over and over again. They will. I mean, if you get comfortable with them, they get comfortable with you. You can do that. As kids, we used to feed the raccoons across town as my grandparents' house, and we would go there, probably, 50 years ago. That's how long ago it was. And they would come in the backyard, and we would feed them, as long as you didn't go after them and chase them. But if you were still, they'd come up to you and you'd give them a little whatever it is, and they would take it, and 4 or 5 would come in. They wouldn't bother you. You don't bother them. And it would be fun. We'd just be sitting there at night at the picnic table. And here they come. They mosey in from the woods and just do their thing. And so that was fun as a kid. But not nowadays, I wouldn't get close to raccoons. But back in the day, back in the 70s, they were pretty cool. Oh, so what else is going? Oh, so what I like to do on this ain't a summer night, so to speak. It's pretty close to fall, but they have the night racing, and Saturday and Sunday nights, on the TV, they have the night racing, and I really did like that. I really like watching racing at night. Usually it's on in Florida because it's a little cooler at night, and it's just fun. It is just fun kicking back and just something about night racing is good. The day racing is okay, but when it's at night and you got the big white lights from the spotlights coming down on them, I always like to watch night racing. It was so calming just to sit there and watch it rather than in the day when you knew it was hot and you could see people sweating and just the crowds are burning up in the sun. But at night, everything's a little bit more relaxed, it seemed like. So I like watching night racing. I was watching some of the college games today. I was watching, I don't know any of the teams, but I just kind of watch them. And I'm going to reconnect the camera. So let me do that. Let me come out of here. I didn't realize I had to do that. So I guess there's a little timer on it. So I guess there's probably like a 5-minute timer or something like that. So we'll see if I can reconnect. It's right outside the window, so it should. There we go. All right, we're back. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Let me see if I get this lined up. Yep, there we go. So we're back. So it looks like we can go connect for like 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So we'll do that from time to time and just get everything all connected for you. And Michael says it's freezing in Connecticut. Come on. It's 63. It's not freezing. It's cold. It's not summer, but it's not freezing. But he says he just got back from Orlando. It's 90-degree weather down there. Okay, then I can see how it'd be a little colder here. It's 27 degrees difference. It would be. But Michael and I have been in a little group chat, and we've been slowly planning out D to D Con 26. We're trying to weigh out some options, see what we can do with that. Um, so we're hoping that that'll be kind of fun. So what have you guys been playing here? Again, we're gonna just be a loosey goosey chat. I've been talking a little bit about um, some of the things going on around here. I've been playing a lot of football. A lot of football. I've played some second season. I've played a lot of solitaire pro football, and I've played a couple of games of APA. Yeah, like sitting down, setting up, and playing the full game of APA. I played a couple of games, and it's been really fun doing that. Oh, I thought I saw a rabbit there, but I guess it was a little bug flying through the screen. What's kind of funny on this thing here, when I get the videos in the morning, I will get I'll have at like midnight, I'll have a rabbit on a video, and then at 12:15 the coyote goes right by the same area. It's like yeah, it was close. So I've been playing a ton of football, like the long play football, and I thought about trying to play just a quick play or a drive by drive, but I keep going back to the full play. And I pulled out the Solitaire Pro, and I started to get really good at that. What did I play? I don't even remember who I played. Oh, I played a couple of games from 77. And who else did I play? I don't remember. In APA, I actually played 77. I played the Buccaneers at the Eagles. It was opening day, again, loosely based on opening day. And that was a fun game in APA football. The Buccaneers had 7 turnovers. But Philadelphia was so bad, they just couldn't move the ball. And when they did, they missed 3 field goals. Somehow Philadelphia led 14-7, and Tampa Bay drove the ball down on the last drive of the game, getting several defensive penalty calls to move things. And they got it down 3rd and goal from the 1, or 4th and goal from the 1. 4th and goal from the 1 with about a minute left. Chance to tie the game, and the Eagles stuffed them a no gain. And Philadelphia would hang on for the 14-7 win. That was a super fun game. And what was great is in real life, I think it was 13-3. And my game was 14-7. So it was real close. But I guess the Eagles weren't really that good back then. They only won 5 games. So not surprising they struggled with Tampa Bay. But that was a fun game. Fun game. Mr. Field comes by. He's playing a Glory Days boxing tournament tonight. And he's got a 9-day vacation. I just had my vacation over the over that holiday weekend. That was mine. And Michael says he talked to Chad yesterday at the Gardens. Excited to have our group back. Okay. I think there's probably an 80 to 90% chance we're going to go to the same place, just because we know what works there. We know where it is. We've been there. They were really good letting us use that meeting room on Friday night. So hopefully we can do that on a Thursday night. And again, there's no ideal place, but that place seemed to check a lot more boxes than other places. So, so that's kind of what's going on with that. It just, I think we are looking around, and the prices are just, crazy. I thought about Foxwoods, but I think Mike said Foxwoods was really expensive too. So there's no sense, trying to spend $10,000. This one was $3,000 for what we had. So if we try to go someplace else, and I'm not going to triple the cost, no one's going to pay for that, and we can't do that. So be interesting to see what we're going to do, but I think that might be the case. Ron says it's sundown here and it's still 83 degrees. So you must be in Antarctica then, right? And Ryan says he's been playing a good amount of Apple hockey with the HHL Hybrid League starting up soon. He's watching some of my old Apple hockey videos. Some great stuff. Thank you. Any questions at all, let me know. I get Apple flowing pretty smooth for me. Doesn't mean I'm playing it the right way, but I'm pretty close, I think. I backed off a lot of the different things I did with that. But I'm still keeping individual ODAI. I think that is just so fast and it's so individual. I really like that. That was ingenious that Mike Berger come up with that. And I'm bouncing between his penalty system and the actual APA penalty system. Every now and then I try to go back to the original way that APA does it, but it's just so clunky. Sometimes I just want to get the penalty done. If I ever do a serious replay, which I'll probably do with Hockey Bones anyway, rather than APA, so I can do the as played, then I'll probably get more specific about the getting the rules exactly right. David said he's been playing 77 MLB with National Pastime Next Generation Plus. I've heard of that one. And Michael says he made some changes that could help with more attendees. We'll talk later or tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. I like that. Triple G coming by. Thanks for coming by as we do a little live monitor of the Coyote cam. It'll probably time out in another minute or so, but I thought it'd be fun to throw that on there tonight and just see if we were to catch anything. There is a little light there, though. When I went outside, there's a little blue light, and you can definitely see it. So that might, a lot of times I see the Coyote running away because he must see the blue light come on. It'd be great if there wasn't a blue light, but I imagine it's got to shine something out there because it's pitch black out there. So that's the only way you get some light out there. So what else have I been playing? I did I played another game on my payoff pitch baseball with the Red Sox. I think I got it. It was 5-0 Sox in the first inning against Texas, and I was like, "Oh, this is it." And by the third inning, we were tied at 5-5. So that was a fun one. And then I think Yaz and Lynn hit home runs to make it a 7-5 game, and that's the way it ended. But that was a fun time. Payoff pitch is fun. I know some of you guys play payoff pitch. Hang on one second. These have been my new drinks, the sparkling ice, they're called. So I've been picking up them. They're like $1. And they're all 0 sugar and 0 caffeine. I love the orange. They have an orange Starburst one I really like, but sometimes I get the lemonade or the blackberry too. They're a little carbonated, not too bad, but they're kind of fun to have. Larry comes by. Yeah, we got the Wild Kingdom edition. Yeah, I've gotten all kinds of animals out here on this thing. Luckily, nothing too crazy. And David says, put out some food like they did with the goat in Jurassic Park. Where's the goat? Where's the goat? I've seen a few of those people that do the trail cams out in the woods, like up in Minnesota and places like that. They just drop like a ton of, corn seed or something like that, and then they get everything. They get bears and deer and fisher cats and raccoons. It's just everything's up there in the woods. Clever girl, says Brian. Yes, it is. Yeah, that was his last words, but they were so cool. Those last words, it really was. And Mr. Field 07 says, I've been drinking a lot of the sparkling ones. Starburst is good too. Good alternative to soda. Don't feel as bloated. Yeah. I usually drink these bubbly things. That's what I've been drinking a lot of, is the bubbly. And they're nice and cold in the can. But these here, the sparkle, they're called sparkling ice. And the Starburst orange is my favorite. I usually buy like 3 or 4 of them, and then I'll get one of the other ones just to have. So, and they got to be cold though. They really do. I find that sometimes I just put them in a glass of ice, and they're great. So I do like that. A lot of times, like I said, I have my Gatorade and my water that I drink during the day, and I have it at room temperature, and I'm fine with that. But this stuff here, this has got to be the cold stuff. I don't usually like cold drinks, but that works out pretty well. I'll probably be timing out pretty soon here, so we'll have to fix that. And bears love donuts. Yeah, I'm not. I hope I don't get any bears out there. I did see a fisher cat a few months ago over the summer. I was actually driving. Oh, got a little notification there, Jeff. Jeff's playing his game. I was going to work one night about 8:30, and as I was turning the corner, a few houses down, something scurried away from the car, like fast. It was like it was thin. It wasn't like a raccoon. And it had this huge long black tail and went flying up a tree. And I was like, well, I guess that's a Fisher cat. The other night when I did the stream here, when I checked, I had a possum that almost come in the window over here. And then the other night, the coyote was here. So I'm surprised I haven't got any visitors yet on the camera because this is the time they come out. And yeah, I'll check at 8 o'clock and I'll get some critters on the cam. And Jeff says NPNG is going to be taken down in the near future. Copy what you want now. Is what he thought he read. Oh. Could I put some donuts in a Soldier Field end zone, please? They got plenty of donuts. Is Chicago good this year? Is the Bears good this year? Yeah, you don't want to mess with the Fisher cats. Luckily, this one took off from the car. I hear them once in a while, but I don't. I really don't. That's the first one I've seen, and I might have seen two. There was another night I come home from a concert years ago, and I had been drinking, and I said something ran in front of the car. Friend was dropping me off. I wasn't driving, and I go, look at that, ran right. That's the Fisher cat. And yeah, they kind of look like Wolverines. They look like a Wolverine. They really do. We had someone one time says, I got a Wolverine under my deck. It's like probably not a Wolverine, and it's probably not a what are those other things that are really vicious? What are those things called that are really, really vicious? Badger, honey badger. I said, it's probably not a honey badger, but it says could be a Fisher cat or a raccoon. And what would I do with bears? Probably wouldn't leave the house. And Fisher cats are creepy. Yeah, and that's why one of the reasons we haven't got a dog yet. We have the little dog that never goes out, and she still lets it out the front door. I'm like, don't let it go to this side of the house. That's where they come out of the woods. And she'd be scooped up in a second. Well, usually it's in the morning though, so it's probably not a big deal, but still, I wouldn't trust it. And then, what else was I going to say? But when we had our dog, he'd go way down the back, and I know it's all fenced in, but he would go way down the back and be right up against the back gate, and that's where they were. And I was like, I just don't want to have to worry about that again. It's been so nice not to worry about trying to walk a dog, have a dog out in the yard with the coyotes living out there. It's just been so I get worked up about that, as you can tell. So, so I've been playing a lot of football and really enjoying it. And I find that the game flies by. It really does. I know they take a couple of hours or so, but it's just so much fun. Just sitting there playing it and just calling the plays or watch it play out, whatever it is. And again, I've had some really, really good games. I really haven't had too many bad games. I usually play bad teams too. Although I did play, what did I play? Oh, Solitaire Pro. I played Carolina and St. Louis from 2001, and Carolina was 1-15, and St. Louis went to the Super Bowl that year. So I played them, and it was like 3-2. St. Louis they got tackled in the end zone, so Carolina got a safety, and then St. Louis kicked the field goal. So it was 3-2 for a while, and then eventually St. Louis went on to beat them up like 34-5 or something like that. So I was happy to see that finally panned out into the score that I was hoping it would be. But all those games are great. The Solitaire Pro and Season Ticket and Second Season and APA. Those are the four I mostly play. And my results are always really good. And Pippin growls if the bear's outside and we do not go out. Yeah, I wouldn't tempt it, James comes by. Hi, Mr. James. And we're just kind of hanging out here on a Saturday night. I got the little live coyote cam going. We'll keep it going for a little while. It should be timing out pretty soon because it timed out the last time. As long as the battery's not getting drained, I'll keep it going. That'd be something fun to do tonight. Just kind of have it in the background, see if anything does pop out on camera. I'm surprised I haven't got a rabbit or anything yet because they're everywhere. They're probably in the backyard right now. My whole front yard is all rabbit crap. I should have been raking it up, but at this point here, it's like it's too late. We didn't get enough rain to have the grass grow this summer, so we have a yucky front lawn. It's full of this rabbit poops, and I like the rabbits, but they're eating everything and they're crapping everywhere. And they are becoming a problem. So, um, Gus says, "Have I ever heard them howl?" Oh yes. Oh jeepers, yeah, yeah. I hear them howl all the time, or at least I did when they Oh, they're super creepy. Yeah, they when we had the family living here this summer, we had mom and the three pups, and it sounded like there was 100 of them out there when they started their howling, because she would howl and they would yip. So it'd be like, "Bow," and they'd be, "Yip, yip, 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 yip," and it sounded like there was 10 of them out there, but there was four. So yeah, and it is creepy. And there's been one time I came home from work. It was about 11:30 or so, and as I was walking to the house, one of them howled right on the other side of the house, like to my left as I'm walking up the stairs, probably 30 feet away from me. And it was so loud and it just freaked me out. And I ran in the house and I came in the house and everybody was awake. The wife was up, the dog was up. And it's like, "You hear that?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, it was right outside the bedroom window." And I'm like, "Great. Now what do I do?" He's just sitting out there. And she goes, "No, he went into the woods." So I get the car open, all my stuff sitting there in the driveway. So I had to I was running back and forth, just throwing stuff in the house. And what stinks now is I'm always worried that they're going to creep out around the corner on me. So as you're looking at this view here, the camera's almost against. Okay, camera's about 4 or 5 feet away from the house. So he would walk right on the right side as you're looking at it and just come right out front. And a couple of the videos I got, that's what he does. He hugs my fence, he hugs my house, and he comes right out front. And he would run smack into me if he took that same path. So when I come home, I try to shine some light and make some noise and just keep him away. I just don't want to run into him. I just don't. I've seen a couple of foxes when I was walking my dog, but they took off. I did have a rabid raccoon one time. Middle of the day, raccoon was walking around. So can I go out and create some action? No, no. It's kind of raining out a little bit, so I don't want to go out and get wet. It'd be funny if I did go out there and wave, though. Maybe I'll get the wife to go out. Hey, go out and wave. Remember in Jaws? Back up! I'm trying to get some perspective. When the shark was behind him, it's like got the cigarette hanging out. What are you talking about here? so, so no, I won't be getting up to get some action on the camera. It was hit or miss, Well, it's been mostly hit. I've been surprised that I got nothing here. We've been on for about a half hour, and Andrew says he's got bears up in New Hampshire. Yeah, yeah, I bet you do. Every now and then, in the western part of Massachusetts, we'll get a bear in a tree, and they'll have to go and tranquilize them. And we got some lights there. It looks like so someone might be coming home. Yeah, that was a neighbor not coming home, but it looked like we had some lights. So we'll see. So what else has been happening here? Oh, back in full swing. So I got to work again tomorrow up in New Hampshire. So I'll be doing the play-by-plays back in full swing. So that's I think I'm working every Saturday, whether it's afternoon or night between now and Thanksgiving. So that's pretty much a go. I think I might have one Saturday in October off if I think about it. They might be on the road, but they play a ton of games here. So I'll be doing that again. That's been fun. This is my favorite time of year when, I get to go to the rink and I get to go. No, it wasn't a UFO, David. That was just some lights. Maybe it was a UFO. Imagine if we caught a UFO. That'd be unbelievable if it landed here live on the stream and some little green men come out or gray men come out and were doing their thing. Nobody would believe it, right? And Jim Rockford's Trans Am comes by. I like that name. That's pretty cool. I like that name. I never really watched the Rockford Files. That wasn't my thing. And Andrew says he's just north of Western Mass, so it would be the same bears. Yeah, they cross over the line. They do. They'll go over the line. I can't believe we got those huge deer a few weeks ago. That was kind of crazy. But I like sitting back on a cool night, having football on. What I really like now too is on Monday nights, I will go to the rink to score keep on Monday nights, and with Monday Night Football is great because I'll have the game on my headset, so I'll be listening to the game while scorekeeping a game, and then I'll just bounce back and forth between the live game and like Mad Dog Sports. They'll do a they're always talking about the Sunday games. I love sports talk radio. So I will get on there and just listen to them talk about the game. Just go, oh, how about those Jets or how about those Vikings or Patriots stink. So I don't want to hear about those guys. But it is fun just to kind of zone out with some sports talk or put on the game. I like Kurt Warner. He's doing the color commentary on the NFL feed, I think it is. So I'll just go back and forth on Monday night, and I kind of look forward to it. I look forward to actually going to work Monday night this time of year and just listening to the football talk. I'm not really big on baseball or basketball talk. Sometimes hockey. Again, I don't follow hockey enough to really know, and there's so many damn teams now. But the football, I don't know a lot of players, but I know enough of the skill players. That's the thing with football. You have your skill players, your quarterbacks and your running backs, your receivers and your kickers. So you only need to know 4 or 5 guys for a team. But with hockey, there's a lot of guys in the team you really got to kind of know. Gus says he's got bears up at his place too. You guys have a lot of bears. What's up with the Bears? You guys big Chicago Bears fan? We should have the Bears and the Coyotes. That should be my next game, Bears and Coyotes. Although there's no, I got the Hershey Bears. I could do the Hershey Bears. The wife was talking about that. She's like, Trans-Siberian Orchestra's playing in Hershey. Should we go? I says, it's 8 hours. I said, Hershey's an 8-hour ride. I says, don't. She goes, well, they're playing in Manchester, New Hampshire. Says, yeah, that's a little closer. That's like an hour and a half. That's a little bit more doable. Well, that's actually I can clean this up a little bit. These are all fingerprints that just won't come out. I'm actually recording this off my iPad. There's no other way to do it, really. So I figured I would just kind of do that. I tried to connect. This is connected by Wi-Fi to the camera, but once you're connected to the camera, I can't connect it to the computer. It just won't do it. So I'm kind of doing it. I'm cheating here. I'm kind of filming the iPad, but again, we'll be able to see something if it comes through. It's kind of what I'm getting at. And oh man, Mr. Field says I saw the Trans-Siberian Orchestra in Hershey in 2007. We've seen them a few times. It's always been in New Hampshire, up in Manchester. I think it was Worcester and then Worcester, Mass, and Manchester, New Hampshire. And they were fun, but I've seen them 2 or 3 times, and it's just she wants to see them. She's been bugging to see them every year, so I'm gonna have to give in at some point and go. I've already seen them. I've seen the show, and I'm not a big fan of big crowds anymore. It's just not my thing. So we'll see if we get tickets for that. I think they were $90 tickets. I'm like, oh my gosh! So, and then plus all the fees. So I imagine it's going to be for 2 tickets. It's probably going to be $250. I would imagine. Yes, I do plan on having dinosaurs on my dinosaur tour. Wasn't that one of the best lines in the movie? That was great. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that. Was a fun movie back in the day. I read the book. I read the Jurassic Park book. I remember I was working and it was getting slow, and there was like a little bookstore right up by work, and was sitting there, and we couldn't leave. And the guy says, "Okay, you guys got to stay." So all right, so at lunch, he says, "Hey, watch the phone for me. I'm gonna go get this book," because there was like nothing going on. And I drove down. And I got the Jurassic Park book, and I actually was reading the book at work, and then I ended up coming home and finishing it over the weekend. It was a pretty good book. It was very different than the movie. There was actually pterodactyls in the book, and there was a scene where they were on a rubber raft trying to get away from the Tyrannosaurus Rex, which I think they put in one of the other movies. But the book was a little bit different. Same premise, obviously, but a little bit different. So still nothing on the camera here. Huh? I'm surprised that I haven't got even a rabbit to come through to kind of entertain you guys. Are you guys not entertained with the? And as soon as I take it away, something's going to come by. So I don't dare move the camera away. And Sean's not happy with his junior B hockey team. Oh, the 16 goals against and 2 games for. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of. Yep. That's kind of. Yep. I hear you on that. I'm kind of wondering because I have the lights on. I wonder if that's what's keeping him away. Maybe he sees the light in the window. I have the shade down, but he has the light on. I wonder if I. Let me try that. You can still see me, but maybe killing that light will. Maybe if he sees light, he won't come by. You need Phil Esposito back to play for your team. Yeah, that's pretty bad. 2 goals and 16 against. So that's an average of 8-1 loss. Yeah. Gus says the Jurassic Park was very good. Yeah, I actually got the second one too. It was a hardcover one. I forget what it was called. I remember it had a white cover on it, and I read that on a plane. I don't know where the heck I went. I don't know if I went to Vegas or what I did, but I took it on a plane with me. And I remember trying to read it on the plane. So I remember I did read a couple of those books. I read a bunch of Star Wars books too. They were fun. Now this is going back 20 years, but I bought a bunch of Star Wars books and I read them, and they were all based on the first 3 movies that from the 70s and 80s, so they were really good. I think the Courtship of Princess Leia was one of my favorites. That was pretty good because they brought in a lot of the monsters and the characters and the spaceships from the movies that I saw. Then there was a couple that were almost like fan fiction. I didn't care for them at all. And let me see. So, we're scheduled to have a guest on the show this week, and this guest has played a lot of one game. And I says he's been trying other games. I says I think it'd be fun to have you come on and talk about what it's like playing some of these different games after playing one game pretty much for so many years. It's like, what's that like? Because I can't relate to that because I came to the party late and I've been playing everything, as you know. But it'd be fun to see someone who's just like been playing one thing or one particular company's games, playing different games. It's like, what is the thought process with that? Because some people have stuck with one particular game, whether it's Strata app or a Status Pro or whatever it is, and that's their game, and they stick with it. And they don't really play anything else. Nothing wrong with that. And some people have bounced around to different things, and I'm kind of interested to see what what his thoughts are about that. And have I seen Godzilla -1? I did. I actually I think I bought it to stream. I don't know if I bought it off of Amazon, if I bought it off of Voodoo, Fandango it is now. And then as soon as I was the Japanese audio with the closed caption. I'd rather have the English dub because I don't like to always have to read what they're saying because then it takes me away from watching the movie. And as soon as I bought it, Netflix comes out like the next week with the English dub version. I'm like, son of a gun. So I've watched it a couple of times. I watched the Japanese audio with the closed caption, then I watched the English dub on Netflix. I haven't seen the black and white version yet. And I did hear it did well, and it did win the Oscar, like you said. It was okay. It was okay. I'm glad they're still making the Godzilla movies. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I'm not sure what it was. I thought that how they tried to kill him was like really weird. How they just were going to surround him in the water and then drown him or try to get the pressure of the water to do so. I don't know. It's just like really weird how they were going to try to do that. And I guess you had to try something, right? And that's as good as idea as anybody else's, but yeah, it was just kind of strange. It was really kind of strange, but it was an okay movie. I thought it was a little hangy. The whole scene with him and the kid and the woman. I just thought it was. I don't know. It was okay, and I'm glad I got it, and I'm glad I bought it. But and now they're talking about a Shin Godzilla. And I saw that one too. I don't know if I bought it or what I did, but Shin Godzilla I thought was one of the worst Godzillas. In fact, I just kept speeding that up. All it was people talking in an office or in a lab. That's what it looked like. There was very little Godzilla, and there was this one thing that was creeping along on the ground, and it kept growing and growing and growing. It's like, geez, I wonder what it is. Oh, look, it's Godzilla. What a surprise. So I didn't like that at all. And they're talking about how great that was and how they're going to make a remake of that or a second one. I'm like, oh, better make it better than that one. But how did we get on Godzilla anyway? Oh, David was asking about Godzilla. Oh, I have my Godzilla shirt on. That's probably why you're asking. Yeah, I bought these back in 2018. They still fit, by the way. I bought like 5 or 6 of them because Godzilla, when Godzilla King of the Monsters come out in the theaters, I was all excited to have Godzilla back. And so I bought a bunch of shirts to go to the movies, and I still have them. They still fit. I'm still happy about that. Actually, they're a little looser than they were when I bought them. So that's pretty good. I don't know if that means they stretched out or if I got thinner, but either way, I'll take it. Either way, I'll take it. No, so I'm gonna have an unboxing maybe later this week. I got some envelopes coming in from Chris, so I can I need to get caught up on my hockey and one of my baseball seasons. I got the '86 APA baseball season. I think it was Michael Silva gave me that at D2D-Con, so I'm finally getting around to get my custom envelopes printed for that. I haven't done well with that. The few games I played, it's not going well for the Red Sox. So every time I try to play those Red Sox in '86, no matter what game it is, payoff pitch, strat, APA, it just doesn't go well. So, yeah. So there's that. But I still like to play that '86 season a little bit. I was trying to figure out if I was going to get another APA baseball season. I don't think I'm going to, though. I have all the mid to late '70s and a couple of early '80s, and that's really what I enjoy playing. The only other one I would probably get is '95, but by the time I get that and all the extras, it'd be well over $100. And just to kind of replay, the Red Sox and the Braves or the Red Sox and the Indians, yeah, that's a lot of money to spend. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for football. Interesting to see what the next football season's going to be for APA. I know I don't have 80. I don't think I have 80. I think I get 81 over there. They come out with 70 and 80. I actually get 70. And I kind of surprised myself with that because 80 is more of my speed. But I have, 76, 77, 78, and 81. So 80 is pretty close to 81. So it's like I can hold off for a bit. 70 is very different. I'm not really into that 1970 season, but it was it was the Boston Patriots rather than New England. So I think that might be kind of fun to play the Boston Patriots. And on top of them being terrible, was it Joe Cap was their quarterback, come over from Minnesota? So I thought it'd be kind of fun to get that season. So I have that. I can get look at this little fluttery guy here, little butterfly giving you a little show here. I thought it'd be kind of fun to get Tom Dempsey on the table at some point. I think Billy Kilmer was with the Saints, so I thought it'd be kind of fun. And Brian says he's sorting out his Dynasty League Baseball Greatest Team set. It's always fun to sort out cards. 86 for APA is next. Yeah, I have that one there. And Joe comes by. Hi, Joe. Is this a new play game? No, it's not a new play game. It's just, I'm just kind of messing around here tonight. I just got done watching some college football. I bounce around. There's like 13 college football games on right now. So I like to bounce around and find some of the crazy teams and just kind of watch them. I like to watch the close games, no matter who it is. And so I get done watching that. I get done watching some NASCAR. And I says, oh, maybe I'll come on tonight. Yeah, I got Mothra on here, David, right? Yeah, that was Mothra. I was never a big Mothra guy, but now I kind of am. I kind of am a Mothra guy. Yeah, the spiders, yeah. And Joe's watching the Gators right now. I was watching, like I said, I forget who was playing. I don't know anything about the college teams. They started moving the conferences around in Big Ten and Pac whatever. I don't know enough about the college game, so I just kind of watch from a distance and enjoy it. That's all. Excuse me. AP comes by. Good to see you. We're just kind of relaxing here tonight on a fall night. A beautiful fall night. Again, you can see the highway in the background. That's why it's really weird that I have that many big animals running around just outside my house because I'm right up against the highway. And there's really no place to go. It's not like I have a ton of woods around here. I have some, but so I just turned off the main light down here. That's why it's a little dark down here because I wanted to see if maybe that light in the window was keeping anybody from coming out over here. And Mr. Dufferman coming by. Good to see you. And Joe, I don't know if you saw this right here. I'm going to stick this over here for 1 second. Bobby Farris posted this in the season ticket football, and it's the NFL rules, and it's just got some kicking things, and it's really handy. This thing is really handy. So I just printed it out last night, and it just tells you about where the kickoff spot was and things like that, penalties. I didn't realize that holding at one point was 15 yards, and I didn't realize that face masking was legal. Before 1962, face masking was legal. It says 1955 face mask. So imagine that. So you could grab somebody's face mask and it's like, 85 taunting became a penalty. And a few other things from the newer seasons. I don't think I'll get any newer seasons, but I want to thank, I think it was Bobby Farris that did that. So I like having things like that. I need to get one for hockey to find out when, because when I play hockey and, so in the mid to late 70s, early 80s, that's majority of what I play. But the matching penalties always screwed me up because they had it. At one point, you played 5-on-5, then it was 4-on-4, then it went back to 5-on-5, then it went back to 4-on-4. And I can't for the life of me remember what years they are. So I need to make some notes on that too, as far as that goes. Have I played the quick play version for solitaire football? Yes, I have. Yep, I have. It's fun. I think it's just a couple of rolls. I think it's one roll for the offense and then one roll off the other team's defense, I think is what it is. And you just look at the chart and come up with it. And it's pretty fun. There's another one like that it's almost like a Downey game, quick play. But yeah, I have used it, and I have enjoyed it, by the way. But I prefer to play the full Solitaire Pro. I was really getting into it the other day, and I got it moving pretty good. There's a couple things I still get tripped up on from time to time, but for the most part, I've enjoyed it. I got to see what else I got for seasons for that. Let's see. I got like a ton of seasons. I haven't printed them all out yet. So I have got 68. I got most of the 70s and most of the 80s and a couple of 90s. Oh, I got 92. I think I played that Houston Buffalo game. And then I got a couple of spot ones. I got a couple of I think I got 2001 that just come on. I got that one. 06. I don't know even who won 06. Oh, that was the Colts and the Bears. I don't even know why I got 06. Oh, probably because he didn't have and I got 2016. That's New England. I think that's New England in the Falcons, yeah. Because I don't think he had 2003 or 2004. That's what I would like to get, even for APA too, so I can have some better Brady Super Bowls, I would say. The first one, the 01, I'll play that game, but I don't expect New England to beat St. Louis. But I think they could beat Carolina, and I think they could beat Philadelphia. And if I got 03 and 04, the Stick Tap Sports Network comes by. Good to see you. And Sean wants to do more reading. That's one thing I don't do. I don't watch a lot of TV movies. I watch me and the wife like to sit down and watch our YouTube videos at night. But like as far as movies, like an hour and a half to 2 hour movie, I don't really watch that. In books, I sometimes do the audio books. I bought that the last couple of books I bought Ball 4, the Seattle Pilots, Bauman, was that his name? Boughton. And I got about an hour or so into that, and then I got the ABA book, and I was listening to that on the plane on the way out to Colorado, and then it just kind of phased out. So those are the last two books I got were audio books, and I just couldn't quite get into them. Yeah, I think we knew what you meant there, Triple G. And I have a ton of books. I have those Star Wars books upstairs. I just bought a few of them a couple of years ago, and they're still sitting up there. I have the books, the Randy Drusen books. We had Randy on the show talking about the hockey books, the goaltending books, and I ended up flicking through them. I kind of what's good about those is they're chapter specific to a certain goaltender, so I would go and just read the chapter. But I still have those up there. The last book I really read was the Geddy Lee book a couple Christmases ago, and I got the audio book, and I would sit, and I think I did it in like 3 nights. I just sat and listened to the audio book and followed along on the real book. And being a big Rush fan, that was I couldn't put it down. But the ABA one, it just started to get a little hangy. I don't know why. And then the Boughton book, he was going day by day by day with the Seattle Pilots, and it's a big book, and I'm like, wow. I think I bought the book, and then I got the audio book. I said, there's no way I'm going to be reading this. So, but man, we've been striking out here. I have the camera on for an hour, and I have not seen a rabbit or a coyote, which is weird because every time I go out there and put it down, then I come back in, and before I go to bed, I get something. So I don't know if it's just because I had the light on, but he's come out before. I shouldn't say that. I've had the light on before, and when I go check, he's been out running around between the houses. So, and Joe says he's got a 73 Super Bowl team set. Probably roll the game tomorrow for Appa. Best thing to do, Joe, like I say, what I've been telling people, don't even worry about the symbols on the cards, okay? These symbols on the Appa football cards are going to mess you up. They just do. So the best thing to do is just go to Pro Football Reference and get the roster and just follow that. And then you don't even have to worry about the symbols on the cards. It's going to tell you who the nose tackle is, who the linebacker is, who the running back is, who the kicker and the punting are. You don't even have to worry about it. And even who's returning the kicks. And I don't think I've ever run into an issue with Appa football where I had somebody returning a kick that wasn't rated to return a kick. So I don't think I've ever run into that. And then that way there, you don't have to worry about, the TA and the OAB. You don't have to worry about that. Because I tried to do that, and I did a video. It might still be up on YouTube, and I was so frustrated because I was trying to do every team. I went through every team, and I was finding their starting lineup and their best guys, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, this is not fun. Why did I get this game? And then I said, you know something? The heck with it. I'm going to go to Pro Football Reference, and I'm just going to look who played. I'm going to pull those cards out just like I do when I play a baseball game. I see who the roster is, and I pull those cards out, whether it's baseball, football, hockey, basketball. Just go to the reference site. I pay for it. I have the subscription because I'm there every single day. And so I don't mind supporting them, and it's faster without the ads. And then I know who's in the game, and I just pull out those cards. And that's what I play with. And I've never had any issues that way. It's so fast, so much faster than trying to figure out who the best guys are. Now, if you're playing head to head, then yeah, you want to go find your highest rated guys. So you're going to take the TAs and the OAs and all those guys. Yeah, those are the people you're going to look at, and they're going to be your main returners because they have the highest rating. But for an as played or something like that, it just grab the card. Don't even worry about the symbols. Just what did they play? And that's what they're going to play for you. Simple as that. And the only thing is that on the Pro Football Reference, on the defense, the last four, like the cornerbacks and the safeties, they're in order by but how APA does it is that the linebackers and the linemen, sometimes you got to mix them up a little bit compared to what you see on the reference site. So you can't just go 1 to 11. The last four are good, but 1 to 7, sometimes they start off with the linemen, and then they depending if you're playing 3-4 or 4-3, it's going to determine what order they'll be in. And the only reason why you really need the order is to see who gets a fumble or who intercepts a pass. So if you don't want to do that, you don't even necessarily have to do that. Let's see here. And he says that's exactly what he does now. Okay. And Sean says, gonna roll a game in Digital Diamond Baseball because he feels like playing non-dice tonight. Yeah, sometimes you do. Nothing wrong with that. And what are my thoughts on Dynasty League Baseball online version? Well, when I played that with Mike that one time, it was fun. But the issue was you had to play against the computer or somebody else at that time. I like to play both teams and coach both teams, but I don't think you could do that at the time. And there was one other thing that it didn't do. So there were a couple of big check boxes that it didn't check for me. And so for me, it just wasn't for me because I am used to playing a certain way. And so when I went there, it wasn't doing a couple of those things that I really enjoy. Now, since then, I think one of them, I forget which one it was fixed, but one of the big check boxes, for me anyway, I think they did put into the game. And so it might be something worth checking out. But like I said, I'm kind of used to the Strat, and I'm kind of used to the Action PC and Replay Baseball, and I'm just kind of used to how that works. So the Dynasty League is just a little different, and I'm not used to it. And so for me, it just didn't check enough of the boxes for me personally, because I'm just used to a different way. That's all it is. If you like Burger King flame broiled, then you're not going to like McDonald's because you're used to flame broiled. That's all it is. I enjoyed what I played. It's something I would think I would probably go back and check out again and see what changes they've made. So that's definitely a possibility. I do want to try the cards and dice game because it's a lot more baseball than I want. It's kind of like the APA Master game. I did like APA Master, but boy, that was a lot of baseball. And it just took a long time to play because you're constantly checking on things, which was half the fun, though. But the Dynasty League was so busy, but sometimes they can be really fun. So it's something I'm thinking about going back and seeing if I can play that on my own. Just kind of see if I can play it on my own. Because I went through it with Mike, and it's like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but it's still a lot of baseball. And I can see how it could be somebody's favorite baseball game. I can see that. For me, it's more baseball than I want. That's all. And let's see here. So Joe says he's really into payoff pitch. Isn't that fun? And the thing with payoff pitches is a few different ways you can play it. If you want to use fast action cards, if you want to use ratings, there's basic running, there's advanced running. That's when it really comes down to it, it's the running. When it, like in baseball games, it's the running that trips me up. No pun intended. And I went back and forth a couple of times. I remember because I bought payoff pitch, I bought the PDFs, and then when I ordered the regular cards, I was like, okay, no more PDFs. It's going to be regular cards only. And I got them in, and I played it, and then I was fighting it. And I remember I put it away and I was like, I'm just going to sell all my payoff pitch cards. I have a handful of seasons. I'm going to get rid of them because this game is just driving me nuts. And then I think it was Replay Gamer actually said, oh, they released a new version. And I was like, oh, that's why I'm playing a combination of the new and the old version. Now, again, it's not any major changes, but I was getting them mixed up. And so I put the old version away and went with the new version, which was just the rules were clarified a little bit better and just things were a little bit more smooth. And so once I just put the old version away, I wasn't confused anymore because I was like had charts all over the place and none of them were matching up. And so when I put the old version away, I just went with the new ones. I was like, "Ooh, okay, this makes more sense now." And then I got stuck again, and I put it away. And then finally, I said, "Okay, I need to solve this. I have too many seasons of payoff pitch." and I sat down, and I have my system of playing it. And once I got my system, um, then I was like, okay, now I'm good to go. So now when I play it now, I stick to my system and I'm not worried about certain things. And I have my way of doing it. And now I can get through a game pretty quick. And I still make mistakes from time to time, but for the most part, I really do. I really do like the game. And and I do too. I use a combination of facts, dice, and charts. Yep. Yep. So and that's what I like to do. I just kind of I tell you how I do it. I think I did a video. Yeah, so he says, "Oh, thanks for the tutorial." Yeah, I just wanted to show it off. I did that a few weeks ago, I think. And what I do is I will on hits if there's two outs, everybody gets the extra base. So it's kind of like strat, single two bases. If there's two outs, everybody gets an extra base. If it's from the wheelhouse, everybody gets an extra base, regardless of your speed. Because I hemmed and hawed about, well, what about the slow runners and the fast runners? And what about the armed or the outfielders? And it's like, at some point, I don't want to be getting too crazy with this. I don't want to be getting too crazy flipping cards and looking at speeds and arm. It's just not what I wanted to do. That's too much for me. So I decided that on a hit with two outs and a wheelhouse, it's always an extra base. No questions asked. And if it's off a tough, it's one base, no questions asked. Again, unless there's two outs, which takes precedent. So tough would be one base no matter what. And that's what I like about payoff pitches. You have the wheelhouse, you have the tough, you have the patient, you have a few things like that. And so on patient and in play, that's when I go with the fast action card. And I think that's the optional advanced way to play, is the way I play it. I think it's written at the bottom of the page. It says here's an additional way to play. It's an optional way to play. And so yeah, so on anything but two outs, if it's in play a patient, I flip the fast action card and see what it says under singles and doubles, and I go with that. And once I locked in that system, I'm good to go. And yeah, so that's what I really like with that. And Stick Tap is about to roll some payoff pitch, playing Legends and Busts. I don't have that. I don't have that one. And you're using payoff pitch for 84. Yeah, I bought 84. I have 84 strat, and that's what I played a couple games in. And then I got 84 Appa, I think, so I could play it. So I need to play a couple of Appa games. But the problem is with Appa, you got to dance around to find some of the players until the end of the season. So I'll probably play late season Appa because then all the guys are on the correct team. And then I picked it up for payoff pitch so I could play it too, because payoff pitch has everyone. So you don't have to go find anybody. So I've used a couple different games for that project, and I'd like to get back to that. I'm glad they kind of made it more of an as played, because when they were kind of doing it just with the strat cards, it was like, I don't know what to do. And then they had the pitches alternating, so I was like, I get what they were trying to do. It just, because not everybody had everybody for the as play, because I think it started with strat. So once I think they just said it's all as play down, or however you want to do it, it made it more fun for me. So I think I'll probably grab a couple of games at some point and do it like that. I can't believe I get nothing on the camera tonight. The debut of the Coyote cam has been a bust tonight. Not even anything here tonight at all. Kind of hoping to get even a rabbit on there, or maybe the possum. Hopefully no skunks. I got one of my windows open here, so I don't want any skunks. But it's a perfect night for it. It's quiet night outside, dark, a little rainy. Perfect hunting weather for the coyote, but he's not out. It's just the baby one there. And Gus says he uses season ticket for his 84 games. Yep, that's a good one too. I like my season ticket. I got a couple of games left in my project. I did that 4-team double elimination with season ticket baseball. It was the Red Sox and the Orioles and the Royals and the Rangers, I think it was. Not the 4 best teams, but 4 good teams. And so I think it was 2 from the West and 2 from the East. And I think the Royals got knocked out right away, and then the Orioles. And so now, was it the Red Sox? I forget if it was the Red Sox or the Orioles won. I think it was the Orioles. I think the Red Sox got knocked out. And so the Orioles now go play Texas, and they got to beat them twice in a row because the Orioles obviously have 1 loss. Texas doesn't have any losses. So I need to get that back and wrap up that product. Then I'll finish a product. I think it was Joe Cards that was talking about the double elimination tournaments that he does, because I was like, what can I do? I can't play a full season, and sometimes playing playoffs is a lot. So I said, what can I do just so I can get a game on the table? And he suggested the double elimination, and there's Mothra again. And so I wonder if it's that light that's keeping the coyote away tonight. Maybe he sees a light out there. He's just going to say, I'm going to stay away from that light. Although it looked like it's just a blue, like really a light blue light out there, you know. And so I tried a double elimination. It was kind of fun, and it's something I should probably do for hockey too. That way, I don't have to do full playoffs or anything like that. What I thought about doing for football is something similar to what Al, Red Sox fan, used to do, and that is you don't necessarily have to play a full game. You can play a handful of possessions, or a quarter or a half, and just shorten the game up, and so you can still play the game and enjoy it, but it's not going to take you 2 to 3 hours. Excuse me. So part of me was thinking about doing that. The only thing is, especially when it comes to Apple football, which I really like, it just takes so long to set up. That for me anyway, by the time I get the cards out and put them on the table and get it set up just the way I like it, it's a half hour or so. So I'd hate to spend a half hour setting it all up and then be done in an hour. So when I take the time to set it up, it's like I might as well play the whole game, the full thing. But with season ticket, football, or second season football, or solitaire pro, where there's really no setup. You just start rolling dice and go. I mean, you could set it up just to play a half. Maybe play the first quarter, and then what I was thinking about doing is playing a quarter and treating it like a half. So somebody will kick off the first quarter. We play the first quarter, reset, kick off again, and so they could just play half a game. And I think that would be kind of fun to do to double elimination that way, or even King of the Hill. What is King of the Hill? I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is. And Joe says, he advocated to do the as play lineup, and Kevin changed it. Yeah, it's much more fun. Yeah, it was kind of interesting what they did when they're like, okay, well, this pitch, you could do the as play, but just make sure the pitcher does this, that, and the other thing. I was kind of following along a little bit, but the as play just easier for guys like me. And Dave's got the 84 Cubs going with inside pitch using Digital Diamond Baseball. And Joe was talking about King of the Hill. Yeah, I don't know. I have an idea what King of the Hill is, but I'm not 100% sure. And Duffer Man bought some game-winning drive seasons, a 14 replay tonight. Game-winning drive is fun. I have a lot of seasons of game-winning drive. I think I like the momentum football a little better than game-winning drive. I like rolling for my field goals and my extra points. I just do. Although I think game winning drive you do roll for the extra points, but not the field goals. So I like rolling for my field goals, and I like how it's not momentum football. It's not just drive by drive. It's time off the clock, and I think you get too many drives in momentum football. I think the timing's a little light, but it's just got a little bit more than game winning drive, and I think I do like that. But it's the same premise. I do like that. Michael comes by. Michael Kane, the big red machine. King of the Hill is reverse gauntlet. Okay, what's a gauntlet? I know we're talking wrestling stuff here. I'm not 100% sure. And David says, I haven't rolled the Tigers 84 yet. Alrighty. All right, so Joe says, that's what I do. Seed 8 teams. One faces 2, winner then faces 3, loser goes to the back of the pack. Okay. So you seed them. Okay. Maybe I could figure that out. And let's see here. And Sean says, I use AI to create a 34 set for Stratomatic. Interesting. And he had the AI put the rosters together and create a schedule. That is kind of wild. From the AI I've seen, not real. It's not ready for prime time, because I'll be here in the chat and I'll ask a question about a season, and someone will go to AI and ask the question, and they'll come back with the wrong answer. So we're not quite there with the AI yet. Doug, Doug, what do you got, Doug? He just came face to face with a coyote 2 weeks ago. Now, was that outside your house? Were you in the woods? Were you walking your dogs? What was the deal with that, and what happened? I've never come face to face with one. I've heard them howling just outside my window as I was walking in the house, and that was pretty scary. I've had them run out in front of my car a couple of times, but I've never been out and about and walked into them. I've seen them a couple of times. So see where you're looking at on the camera right now, kind of that thing in the middle. That's I think that's the my neighbor's shed right there, dead center, and that's just reflecting off his shed. And so he's been right there while I was standing on the sidewalk, which is about 10 feet behind the camera where it is now. Follow all that. And I've been talking to a neighbor, and I looked up and I saw him sitting in the woods, and the neighbor's like, yeah, there he is in the woods. And he didn't like come rushing out at me or anything like that, but it still was like, okay, I'm going in the house. And so I've seen him a couple of times. I remember I was out in the middle of the street talking to a neighbor, and I says, have you seen the family of coyotes that moved in? And she's like, no. And I looked, and one of them was coming out of the woods and was sitting in someone's yard looking at us while we were talking. Pretty far away. He didn't make a move at us, but neither was he running from us. He says, near the woods where I work, he was more interested in a deer than him. Yeah, thankfully. Yeah. And Gus says his dog ran to a couple twice in 10 minutes. They couldn't get away from us fast enough. Yeah, they usually will do that. And that's good to see. They say to make noise and run away. I used to carry a little electronic whistle, the one that I used to referee hockey with. I used to carry one with me to try to scare it away. But like, what would I do if 2 of them come out and I had my dog with me and they come at us? I'd like, it's a fight to the death, and I'm going to get hurt. My dog's going to get hurt, maybe killed. And it's like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And Joe says, first team that wins 7 games is the king of the hill. So even if a team loses, they have a chance to come back and win. Okay. So it's just constantly playing the next guy in the group is what it is, in the best of 7. Okay. Gauntlet is 8-7. Winner faces 6. Winner faces 5. Okay. I think I remember seeing wrestling with something like that. Gauntlet is similar to professional bowler's step ladder. And yeah, the worst when they're in a pack. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We had a family of 3 out here one time, 2 adults and a baby, a pup. And then recently, in the last couple of months, over the summer, we had the one which I assume was the mother, and 3 pups, and I got them many, many times on this camera here with 4 of them. And again, 3 of them were young, but still, there was 4 of them. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to run into that. I just don't. And everyone makes fun of me because they're like, oh, they're just gonna run away from me. It's like you don't know that, and I'm not about to tempt fate, so I'm not gonna tempt fate. It's not what I'm gonna do. But yeah, tonight was striking out. So I don't know if there's a light coming off the camera, or if it's just the light from the house, or just maybe he's away for the weekend. It's a long weekend for coyotes, and maybe maybe he's a different part of town tonight. But I like the idea of like I say, of doing the double elimination, the King of the Hills, the gauntlets. It's just a way to get teams on the table and play some games and play some tournaments that are attainable. Because I always, you know me, I like to do like full seasons, which I never do, and they take forever. And then I want to play something different because I just get tired of it. Or the playoffs. Even the playoffs can be a long grind if you're trying to play a best out of 7 with all the teams. Unless you're doing a one, a best of 1 playoff. But then when you do that, I did that one time. I started a strat project where I took every team. Excuse me. I think it was 1 to 24, whatever it was. I think it was 77 strat. I did, or 76 strat. I think it was 76 strat. And I says I want to get 76 on the table, so I did a best of. I think I was doing a best of 3 basic strat with every single team in the order they finished. And so it was 1 versus 24 and 2 versus 23, if that's how many teams there were. And I would say out of the first 5 series I played, I had 3 or 4 teams at the bottom win. It was fun at first, and then it was just like, wow, all the best teams have been eliminated here in 2 games or 3 games. And I'm playing with bottom teams now. And I get, anything can happen, but it just felt weird that only 1 or 2 of the top 5 or 6 teams actually won their series. And it just left me a little sour. It left me a little sour, so I abandoned that project. I'm going to make myself just a little bit bigger here because I don't think anything's going to come up that high. So I kind of got away from that. I really didn't enjoy that. And Doug says his friend got attacked by them hunting once. Oh yeah, I don't doubt that they would surround you if there was a pack of them trying to get you away from something. Dufferman says I have a King of the Hill going with bank shot basketball. 5 teams, first to 5 wins. Great way to play multiple games with each team. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I should go back to that. See, the problem is that when I play a game, I want to play the full game. And bank shot takes me a long time to play, but doesn't mean that I can't shorten the game, right? I can't play just a quarter or just a half. And I was going to do that one time. I forget. I think it was those. What was the season that come with the? It was a weird league, not the ABA. It was another weird league. It was like a summer league or something like that. It had all these teams. It had a team from Maine and Montana, and I didn't know anybody, but it'd be fun just to kind of get them on the table. But if I had just like played a quarter, I think I was going to play 1 quarter, and winner moves on. That's what I was going to do. And it just, I never got that going. But I was thinking about doing something like that. And maybe those lights running over the kite. No, that's on the highway. I mean, I think they might actually go across that highway because every now and then you see one on the road, unfortunately, and sometimes you see a deer and stuff too because they do go across that highway. There's another set of woods over there somewhere, but like where you see those lights, that's a plaza. So they'd have to go pretty far to find another set of woods. And Sean says, your son had to help you. That's okay. That's okay. And Corey comes by. Hi, Corey. Yeah, I just threw the camera on. This is a little experiment I'm doing tonight. I hooked up the iPad to the camera. I'm just kind of seeing if we catch anything on the camera. As soon as I shut it off and I sign off, I'll be catching all kinds of things. But I thought it'd be fun, just a little change of pace tonight, just to kind of have a chat and have something going on in the background, just to see what it is. And so instead of playing a game, we got Live Wildlife Kingdom going here. It would be fun to get something tonight, even a rabbit. Hopefully, Coyote doesn't get a rabbit. I have yet to see that. My brother lives in the next town over. He lives down by the water, and there's a lot of woods down by him. And he would put out his wildlife cam, and he would get something every day, multiple days, multiple things. And it was a little game trail. And the coyotes would run through it, but then he'd see the geese and the rabbits go through that same trail. And it's like, you're gonna walk through there, you're gonna walk smack into the coyote. It's like, what are you doing? He would get them all the time. They'd be all over his yard. He had a little hot tub out in his yard. He'd be sitting in the hot tub. They'd come out of the woods and just walk right by him while he's sitting in the hot tub. I'm like, oh, that's a little unnerving. And Joe says, yes, these tournaments allow you to get the teams on the table without having to do a complete season replay. I always I never really did anything like that, because I always felt like you had to do a complete playoffs or a complete season. And I saw all these people going, oh, I'm doing a tournament, I'm playing these teams in a tournament. And I'm like, what's the sense of that? It's like, play the playoffs or play the season. But that's the best way to have a manageable set of games and get teams on your table, and to play, maybe some teams that you either want to play, you haven't played, or maybe it's a season you just bought. And I'm like, usually I would come down, I'd look at all my stuff. It's okay, what am I going to play tonight? And I would just take a couple of teams and plays. Okay, good. At least I played something from this season. I played a couple teams, so it's not like I bought this season and never did anything with it. So if I can play a handful of games with a season, I feel pretty good about the purchase. But that's a great way to do it. And so, again, this is part of me learning and maturing as a gamer and growing and trying different things. And so that's one of the things there is checking out different tournaments and different things to get them on the table, and what it's I always was a big fan of the 1-16 playoffs in hockey. I just loved the matchups that you could get in 1-16 instead of Bruins were always in the Adams division. So it's like, growing up when I was in my, my young adult years, it was always just, okay, Montreal finishes first, Boston finishes second. So is Boston playing Buffalo or Hartford in the first round? That's every year. We play 82 games just to see who was going to play Buffalo and who was going to play Hartford. That was it. And it just got so boring. I really liked the days when you could get, Boston and the Kings, or the Flyers and the Red Wings, or, any matchup at all. I always enjoyed that. And I always said that I wanted to do that. I wanted to kind of do some playoffs on my table with a 1-16 format, and that's what I can do now. It'd be a long format. I probably want to do a best out of 3. That's when I think it would make the most sense. And I'm kind of thinking, if I was going to do that, probably the best thing to do would just be to do it with the 49 hockey or the shootout hockey, because it'd be a faster game. And I think it'd be funner that way. So I think I might do that in the 49 hockey. And the other thing I might do is I might just not even worry about playoff lineups. I might just go with the stock lineups and just go with that. I think. I'm not sure. Unless the team went to the playoffs, then I could set up playoff rosters for them and do it that way. But I always wanted to do that. So there's different ways you can do things. And Sean says, I never used AI for anything. I usually really like to draft, but a blind draft for the sake of it was just kind of fun. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Michael, it was the CBA. Yep, the CBA. And it was that the Central Basketball, something like that. Continental Basketball. And so I have a bunch of those teams. I thought it'd be fun just to do the quarter. So I think that's what I need to start doing is stop worrying about playing full-length games so if I want to get more teams and more games done and get more teams on the table, then I could just shorten the game up. But at the same time, that game I played, what was it, 2 nights ago, when I played the Buccaneers and the Eagles, I'm glad I played the whole thing. That game was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that game. And I went down to the last play of the game, 4th and goal in the 1. And I wouldn't have got that if I just played a quarter or two. I wouldn't have got all that, the thrill of it. So it's tough. It's tough what I want to do. And the Albany Patroons, was that what it was? The Albany Patroons? And do King of the Hill with 49 hockey. Yep. I was just talking about that. I'm a little behind on the comments here, but yep. And Sean says I did AI because I play solo and he wanted a draft style league. Yep, I get that. And King of the Hill of fun. So the King of the Hill is what you say. It's 1 versus 2, and then if one wins, it's 1 versus 3. So people keep trying to knock off 1. Is that what it is? So then if 4 beats 1, 4 would then play 5, right? And then play 6, and just kind of like that. Is that what we're talking about here? And let's see here. And Gus says I got a wildlife camera of a fox. We think of the chicken. Oh yeah, that kind of stinks. But that's what you get sometimes. It's a wildlife camera. It is. King of the Hill is fun. Berglund's played a lot of King of the Hill. Fun way to get a lot of teams on the table. Yep. And Sean says I wanted to have a balanced schedule in the NHL again, and just have the 1 to 16. Yeah, because you get the what's great about the 1 to 16 is it's you're playing, the best is playing the worst, how it should be. You're not playing the worst in your division. You're playing the worst, and it should be harder for the worst teams to get through there. Thanks for coming by, Joe. I'll be in touch for sure. And some clown I used to golf with would bring dog biscuits to feed Coyote family that lived off the 18th green. Yeah, that's a little, yeah. I'm supposed to do that. I mean, once in a while, the wife will go out in the woods and she'll throw some, stuff out there, some food for the animals or whatever. But I've never put one here to bait them to come out in front of the camera. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to get them used to coming out here. You know what I mean? It just, yeah. I mean, I could put the camera a little deeper into the woods if I wanted to put it along. I did that a couple times along my fence. I did get a couple things way down the back one time. I think I got a deer, and then I got a raccoon, and I was just like, wow, and like that was it. Though I only put it down there for a few days and didn't get much besides that. But I did get a deer back there one time, right outside my back gate, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And that's like way deeper into the woods. My fence goes back, I don't know, 80 to 100 feet or so to the furthest point. It's all fenced in, but. And yeah, you get matchup you don't usually see in that format, and that's what I like about it too. I like the fact that I can, I remember as a kid, again, I think it was 76, it was Bruins and the Kings. They actually went 7 games. The Kings gave them a ride. But I remember watching the full game on my birthday. So I could stay and watch the whole game because it was my birthday. It's like, oh, that's great, playoffs. And then you get, Colorado, Philadelphia, things like that. You just get some things you don't normally get, and it just gets boring to play. In fact, I like playing all the West Coast teams. Bruins go out to play the Sharks. I mean, there was a time that they would alternate. You would go out to play San Jose, but San Jose wouldn't come here. And the next day, San Jose came here, but you didn't go there. So it's like every other year you'd see the Sharks. Or every other year you see the Kings. It's just, and I get this travel and the whole bit, but come on, man. There's enough money in the game now that we can at least see every team once. We hardly saw Gretzky in his heyday. We hardly saw Gretzky because Edmonton hardly ever come out to Boston. They'd come out once a year maybe, and Gretzky usually didn't play in those games. So we never got to see Gretzky. If we had to play Edmonton twice, then I got sick of the Sabres. Every time hey, you want to go to the game? I got some Bruins tickets. Who they playing? The Sabres. Dude, they've played the Sabres like 30 times this season. I'm sick of the Sabres. And that's why I'm glad that MLB's playing American National, because how many times can I see the Tigers or the Indians or the Yankees? It's just like that's all I see is the same team 40 or 50 times, it felt like. So now when you play everybody, you get to see everybody. You get to see the superstars on the other teams. You get to see the rookies everybody's talking about. And you need to see everybody. You got to showcase these guys. And not playing every team, you don't get to see that. And I do like the different matchups. And, how cool would it be to have, a Florida Colorado playoff series to see who goes to the Cup? I mean, that'd be fantastic. How many years did the West was the Colorado Detroit playoff series in the Western Conference Finals the best series by far? And then the Stanley Cup came and it sucked. And it's just like, why couldn't they be playing for the Cup? Why couldn't we have Detroit, Colorado playing for the Cup? That would be an awesome, awesome series. And nope, can't do it. We have to have East versus West. And I don't know, not a big fan of that. So, but my desktop, my way, right? I can do whatever I want on my desktop, and I probably will. It's just a matter of finding the time. But yeah, I think I'll do that in the 49 hockey. Is maybe do a best of 3, and just kind of rank them all 1 to 16, and that could be kind of fun. Let's see. Michael's back here talking. Says 1 plays 2, winner becomes 1, loser drops, everybody moves up 1. Okay. Okay, so if you lose, you go to the bottom of the pack is how it is. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting too. And then winner, let's just say the winner wins 7. So basically, well, you wouldn't have to beat everybody, right? You wouldn't have to beat everybody. That's interesting. Because there might be a team that beats you. Well, no, you would have to beat them again, right? So yeah, so if somebody beat you, so if somebody beats 1 and 1 comes back around and beats them, yeah, then they would have to beat. So yeah, you'd essentially, yeah, beat everybody once. It's kind of how that works, right? So if 1 beat 2 and 3 but lost to 4, no, because then if 4 lost, 1 would go back up at the top. I don't know. I mean, I'm overthinking it, I think. But I need to do some of that. Because I do have a handful of the 49 Quick Decks hockey. And the highlight hockey, again, I could play those games in a half hour. So in one sitting, I could probably do a best of 3 and have that series squared away and then move on to the next one. I could also do that and shoot out a Stone Cold too. You do Stone Cold, the computer version. Boy, you can play a game in like 5 minutes with the Stone Cold on the computer. And I've done that before. And you can simulate games and stuff, so that's kind of cool too. I do like that. I am enjoying that quite as well. But anyway, well, we kind of struck out here on the Coyote cam. So I'll go a little bit longer. I was kind of hoping to get something, but it is kind of neat that we can do this, though. I can have a little thing in the background, and if we catch something, we catch something. But it's quite possible that maybe there's a little bit of light out there that's keeping the animals away. Because every time I get the video, they kind of look right at the camera, so I know something's going on. So it's quite possible that's what's going on. But it's kind of neat that I can kind of live monitor it here on the show. So, and Brian says, hi, Brian. The winner of the game is at the top, the king of the hill. The loser drops to last and waits their turn to play again. And he's got to determine how many wins, right? Is that the thing? So I imagine if 1 kept winning and if he beat all 7, that would be it, right? If one beat 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that'd be all, Yeah, Coyote would like to see if I'd roll a game. Exactly right. He wants to come over here and see what's going on. Gus says, when I play King of the Hill, I start with the crappier teams. I figure the top teams shouldn't have to play a ton of games to win the crown, but whatever works. I get that. Shane Doan went by. Yeah, we've been striking out here, PJ. We haven't had anything come through on the camera tonight. The other night I put it out at 7:30. I went in the house And I don't know if I played here or watched TV or whatever I did, but when I checked the camera a few hours later, I had missed them by like 15 or 20 minutes. The baby had come out and been running around the yard. I'm like, oh, that was close. And take care, Triple G. I'm going to be wrapping up things here in a minute myself. I have the first two teams to the said number of wins when those two play for the championship. Okay. Yeah, I like the double elimination. That was kind of fun. It's kind of fast. It really was. Yeah, they want me to play a Phoenix Coyote game. I know. I have had the Coyotes here. Didn't I have? What did I have? Oh, I had the Coyotes and who I had the other night? The Thrashers. I had the Coyotes and the Who else on YouTube will play a cards and dice Thrashers and Coyotes hockey game? Right? Was it 2000, 2001? So I did get some of those teams on the channel here. I need to do, like I said, I need to do maybe I could just do like a 2-period APA tournament or something like that, so I wouldn't have to play the whole game. So I'd like to kind of do some more of these King of the Hills and things like that. But when the games start going an hour and a half or 2.5 hours, it's like it just makes it tough. But I suppose if I shorten the games up, like I'd like to do some more bank shot basketball, but maybe I would just do a quarter at a time, and that'd be the whole game. Just and it still would take me a while to do the quarter, but I think that'd be kind of fun. Just kind of fun. Just shorten the games up and have some fun. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, yeah, and yeah. There I go. Hopefully it is there I go. Because I was always big into you got to play the seasons or I do the one-offs, but it's always fun to have some kind of a winner. When I do my Dave's Classic Rewind, as fun as it is getting teams on the table, it's also fun to have some kind of a outcome or a winner. So, but anyway, well, I think I'm going to jump out here. We've had a nice little chat tonight. I do have a game tomorrow, so not sure if I'll be on tomorrow. I'm going to try to stream a game probably tomorrow when I get home. It'll probably be tomorrow night because I don't think I'm going to get up early in the morning unless I can get to the gym. I hurt my back. I think I was either refereeing a game or I unloaded the truck and my hurt my back. It really hurt. So I haven't been able to walk or anything like on the treadmill. So I'm kind of hoping tomorrow to get better. The icy hut really worked. I got to put more icy hut on tonight, but I can't even get out of the couch without screaming. That's just how much it hurts. So hopefully it's just a muscle strain, which I think it is. I don't think it's anything really bad because it's on the side. It's not in the spine area. It's off on the side. So I think it's a muscle strain. I hope. So I was going to try to go to the gym tomorrow, but I don't think I'm going to if I got to stand in the stands all day. But yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll come back on. Maybe that'll be a good time to talk about what I want to do for the thing there. But anyway, we'll come back over here. So we'll wrap things up. So yeah, thanks everybody that came by tonight. As we had a little coyote cam going on tonight, just for fun. Didn't catch anything, so it's kind of like fishing. We went fishing and we didn't catch nothing. So no fishing. We didn't catch anything fishing tonight. Yeah, well, it happens. Come home with nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that is that. So I want to thank everybody that came by tonight as we just kind of chatted and said hi. And yep, take care, Doug and Jeff and everybody that came by, Sean and Barbara and Mike and Mike and Joe and Brian and Triple G and Mr. P Jet and Brian and the Stick Tap Network came by. Corey, Sean, I'm probably missing a few. Sorry about that. I'm kind of scrolling back over here. David and Duffer Man came by. Gus. The other Michael. Got a lot of Michaels here tonight. Doug. Sean, Duffer Man. I'm kind of repeating myself here. I think that's as far back as I go. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. So, but yeah, we had a fun time here tonight. Just kind of chatting away. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna probably turn on and watch a little bit more college football. See if I can catch a crazy game. See if we can get a good game going here. And then you watch. I'm gonna report back here tomorrow. So what's it now? 10 o'clock. I'm signing off at 10 o'clock. You watch it. 10:05. My camera's gonna go off and say, "Oh, guess what we found? Coyote bastard." It's probably waiting for me to sign off. Just kind of wreck my stream. So, all right, folks. Thanks for coming by. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.